I want you to find a comfortably seated position. That may mean that your feet are both tucked underneath the shins. The speaker keeps going out on me. It may mean that you want to take it up to half lotus, tucking one heel into the hip crease, or you can even take it to full lotus, taking both heels into both hip creases. If you did bring a towel and these positions are not comfortable for you, feel free to roll that towel up and place it underneath your seat. That's going to allow your hips to come up a little bit higher so that you can comfortably bend the knees a little bit more. All right, guys, enjoy that nice cool breeze coming through, the sun shining down on us. I'm gonna go ahead and start my playlist. And close your eyes once you find yourself in a comfortable position. Start to roll your shoulders down and back, releasing any tension. Keeping your eyes closed, just start to breathe really, really deep. Some nice big inhales and really deep exhales, like letting everything just go. Keeping the hands rested gently on the knees. And although we're relaxing the shoulders, let's start to lift our chest. We want to sit nice and tall. Think about the crown of your head pointing straight up towards the sky. We're elongating and lifting. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on with my speaker. Exhaling out any stress, anything that needs to be let go, making room for energy and playfulness and happiness this morning. Bring a smile to your face as your eyes are closed and we're still relaxing. Slowly open up your eyes and then take a big inhale, roll those shoulders down and back, consciously releasing the shoulders one more time and really feeling those shoulder blades in the back as we stretch down and back. So from here, we're going to do a couple of little neck stretches before we get a little bit deeper. And let's go ahead and take our gaze over to the right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Take it to the other side. When we do these stretches, we want to maintain that our chin is still parallel with the ground. So we're not tucking the chin down and we're not lifting up. Back to center. Try that one more time each side. Maybe loosening up the bones in the spine, the bones in the neck, the muscles that we hold tension. Back to center. And again to the other side. Making sure we're not turning our spine through the shoulders here. We're just turning at the neck and back to center. A couple of half circles here. Let's warm up the neck. Roll side to side. Find your own flow here. You may want to go a little bit faster. You may want to go slower. side. And this time we're going to take it all the way around. So wind big circle. Be very careful, cautious with the neck. Being gentle here, loving to your body. Change direction.
Blue as the sky, sunburned and lonely. Sipping tea in the bar.
Great job. We're going to inhale, come back to a nice neutral spine. So think about that crown of your head lifting straight towards the ceiling. Our spine is lifted, but we're not arching through the back. Okay, so we want to pull everything, sit up nice and tall. From here, we're going to lift the right hand, place the fingertips on the left side, and gently pull the head over to the side. Making sure that our spine through our back is still nice and straight and upwards. You don't want to turn or twist into this. We'll get into a twist and turn in a few moments. So you're pulling just enough to get some tension on that neck. Release nice and slow. Hand comes back to the knee. Left arm up. Touch to the head. Gentle pull to the side. So important to take this time and give some attention to our neck. During the week, we probably don't do this as much as we should. Release it here. Roll those shoulders down and back one more time. This time we plant the right hand down on the ground, on the patio, and the left arm comes up and we reach. Now I want you to lean into that stretch. So now we are stretching through the spine, but we're not twisting. So the shoulder's not opening back and we're not rolling forward. We still want the shoulders to be square. You have the option to come down to your forearm, but if that hip is lifting, then come back up to the palm. Don't push it, okay? Inhale back up, switching sides. Working through those side stretches. Loosening up now. We're working our way down from the neck, down through the core. Inhale back up, switching sides. Take it back. Starting to wake up these bones and muscles. This time we're going to come center, bring the arms all the way up to the top. Big inhale, exhale, twisting over to the side. When we do this twist, our gaze comes over the back shoulder, but we sit up nice and tall. Continue to breathe here, don't hold the breath. As we release the breath, we feel the belly expanding. Inhale back to center. And we twist to the other side. Right hand, left knee. Using that back hand to push yourself up a little bit taller. So we don't want to round into this. We don't want to get sloppy through the spine. We want to stay nice and tall. Inhale back up. We're going to do one more each side. Exhale, hand to knee twist. Inhale back up. Exhale, twist to the other side.
Follow the sun, which way the wind blows.
And inhale back to center. From here, hands come together, bring them down to your heart. Touching those thumbs to the chest. Close your eyes one more moment before we change out of this easy seated position, appreciating where your body is and feeling what your body wants to feel right now. I want you to remember that through the rest of this class. We're not pushing ourselves to do anything that we're not ready to do. We're going to ease into these poses and allow our body to do the work that it's meant to do today. Open up the eyes. We're going to take the legs out straight in front.
Brand new moon.
Sounded like that class was about to get a lot harder. Didn't mean to scare you there. Feel free to come sideways on your mats. That's why we have plenty of space. We're staggered this way if you want to come straight or you want to come sideways. Either way. Inhale, the arms come all the way up. And we're going to exhale, forward fold with a nice flat back. So we're not going to round through the spine. We're going to ease into our forward fold. Maybe that means the hands come to the shins. Maybe you can reach to your toes already. Wherever you are this morning is exactly where you need to be. Don't stress it. I'm pretty sure you'll get yourselves a little bit deeper as we continue stretching through the class. So hang out here for just a moment.
Direction of love.
Came to bar last night, your legs might feel like mine, and they are very tight. I could not get down here this morning, but that's okay. I'm not meant to be there yet. Slowly start to walk those hands back on up. From here, we're going to step the right foot forward a little bit, closer into your thigh. And you're just going to hug that leg in. So big hug to the right knee. When we do this, we want to reposition ourselves to center. So when you pull that foot in, it's very normal to want to lean over to the left side. But now you can see how crooked my spine is, right? So once you bring that knee in, center yourself back. Ground through both of your sits bones and kind of wiggle in. You know how we do that in the sand? We wiggle into the sand. Wiggle into your mat. And you also want to feel some energy pushing through the left leg that's reaching out straight. We're not just letting that leg be lazy. We're actively pushing that leg into the ground and stretching it. Keeping the spine nice and tall as we continue to breathe.
Long before you came. So which way is the wind blowing? What does your heart
exhale from here, keeping that right foot right where it is. We're going to drop that right knee down to the mat, down towards the patio, down towards the ground. I say patio, but those of you at home doing this may not be on the patio. So down towards the ground. So now we've got the bottom of the foot facing towards the inner thigh. If this is too tight for you, then please feel free to move the foot down towards the shin. Your hips may not be open enough to have that foot up here, and I'd rather your knee be a little bit closer down. So if you're feeling up here a little bit, that means tightness in the hip, and that's okay. Just move that foot forward. You just don't want the knee pushing on the knee. Sorry, you don't want the foot pushing on the kneecap. And then go ahead and put a gentle pressure on that knee if it's not all the way down to the ground. Being very careful here to not push too heavily, but just a nice gentle stretch. From here, we're going to inhale, the arms come all the way up. And we're going to lean forward over that left leg. Maybe coming a little bit deeper than we did with both legs out straight. So we're allowing our spine to stretch a little bit more here. Keeping your back nice and flat, though. We want to keep room for the belly, room for the lungs. We're not crunching over that leg.
Feel summer's on the way, summer's shining now, don't hide away. Find the right wine, take a sip, drink down.
As you exhale, maybe you fold a little bit further over that front leg, that left leg that's stretched out long. Still energizing through, pushing that leg down and pushing it into the ground.
You know you find a way, you find a way, by the way.
Allowing that hamstring on that left leg to stretch, clearing the mind, and then letting that muscle let go and ease into that stretch. Start to roll it on up very gently, walking the hands along the leg. Coming all the way back up to a nice seated tall position. We're going to bring that knee back up where we started. So we're easing that hip back into that straight leg position. And from here, we're going to exhale that foot out forward. Placing it gently down on the ground. Inhale, both arms come up. Exhale, forward fold.
Drift on, do it all again. Nothing holding us still will. Drift on. Taking it in, slow it all down. Look around you now at the sundown.
Slowly start to roll it on up, one vertebrae at a time, making sure that the head and the neck are the last to come all the way up. And then we're going to step that left leg in towards the thigh. Bringing it as close, bringing that heel as close to the body as you can. And remember, as you pull that leg in, yeah, we shift over to the right, but then bring it back to center, placing those sits bones back down on the ground. And then give that left knee a big old hug. You're squeezing that thigh in towards your chest, but you're also sitting up nice and tall. So we're not going to crunch over the leg. We want to sit up tall, keep the chest open, keep the shoulders relaxed. Think about the shoulder blades pulling down and away from each other. And think about pushing that right leg forward a little bit more. You're activating that right leg, pushing it down into the ground and pushing those toes long. No lazy right leg there. We're working everywhere. And from here, you're going to keep keep that that left foot right where it is, and then we're gonna drop the left knee down to the side, taking your time to get here. Repositioning that foot as needed. If you need to bring it closer to the shin, that's fine. If you wanna have it in on that thigh, that's fine too. You may notice that one knee gets closer to the ground than the other, and that's perfectly normal. It's very rare that we are equally open in both of our hips. Usually, whether it's the way we carry things on one side or the way we walk, there's a lot of different factors that can imbalance us a little bit. So you may need a little extra love to push down that knee more on one side than the other. Once you feel comfortable here, let's inhale, those arms come all the way up. And then we're gonna exhale, forward fold, reaching for the right toes or the right shin. Another option, if that's too far of a reach, feel free to have the hands down on the ground beside your leg, on either side of your leg. That might be more comfortable, and that's okay too. And remembering to exhale and sink just a little bit deeper, releasing that right hamstring.
Feeling good, like I should. When in darker, walk around the neighborhood.
Start to walk those hands back up along the legs.
Never stress.
Hopefully you're all starting to feel good this morning. Listen to the lyrics. Feeling good. Lift that knee back up. Keeping that left foot right next to the thigh. One more stretch right here.
All you gotta do is leave it better than
we'll just change the lyrics to Saturday best. It's not Sunday best yet. Exhale, take the left leg forward. Heels come together. Inner toes are touching. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Are we getting a little bit deeper in our forward fold now? Maybe we are. If not, then it's okay. We're going to keep working towards it. And if you're not feeling stretched here, feel free to bend the knees slightly. And again, you can have those hands down on the ground beside your legs if reaching for the shins or the toes is too much for you right now. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Keeping that back flat, so we're not rounding too much. We're not crunching our organs. Slowly start to roll it up.
Some days you wake up and
I want some big shoulder rolls right here.
Gotta give your feet some gravity.
Exhale big.
Keep good things inside your
being very gentle with our bodies this morning. All right, guys, we're gonna move just a little bit more now. We are gonna take it to the knees, but we're not gonna stay there too long. So for those of you that have just towels and not mats this morning, you may wanna double up the towel just for a few moments. And we're gonna take it to some lunging positions for anyone with just a towel. If we do a low lunge, you may actually wanna take it to a higher lunge to lift that knee off the patio, okay? So making the practice as accommodatable as we can for everybody. Come on into your all fours position. Good morning, amps. From here, we're just gonna find a quick all fours. So we wanna stack the shoulders over the wrists, and we wanna stack the hips right over the knees. And we have a nice neutral spine right here. We're just gonna take a quick little spiral through the spine, meaning we're gonna drop the belly down towards the ground, and then we're gonna roll it back on up. So here, we just really wanna flow through that spine. We wanna have fun with this one. It may feel a little funny, you're not used to doing these spirals, but go with me here and let your body just flow into it. There's no right or wrong with this one. You can slightly bend the elbows if you wanna make it a little bit bigger, or you can keep the arms straight and spiral just through the core. You can even shift the body forward coming in if you really wanna get the hips into it as well. Just big circles, warming up through that core wherever feels good. And then we're gonna hold in the pause, and we're gonna change direction. So whatever you did on one side, you're gonna repeat on the other. Again, we can keep arms straight and spiral through the core. We can bend and take it a little bit bigger. And we can even shift the torso forward, taking these big circles. Really winding up, warming up that core, the spine, the hips. Everything's nice and fluid and loose now. Good job, guys. See, with this move, it's nice that we're in our nice little corner, right? All right, come on back to neutral. From here, we're gonna step the right foot forward. We're gonna come into a low lunge position. Again, if this is not feeling great on your knee, then go ahead and tuck the back toe and take it up to a high lunge. That might be better for somebody that doesn't have a mat, okay? If you can keep the knee dropped, then we're gonna stay right here. We're not gonna be here long, but we are gonna push that back hip down into the ground. So you wanna think about stretching that back hip flexor. At the same time, you're activating this right hamstring. Pull through this quad, push down with the right foot so that you're lengthening. Think about stretching the left toes back as far as you can. And from here, we're gonna step the left foot forward and we're gonna come into Malasana. So from here, we step both feet. I'll turn forward so you can face. And then we come into Malasana. Garland pose. Good. So toes are facing out at an angle. We're aiming for the heels to be flat, but that's not that easy. So if you have to lift, you can always have the hands down on the ground. You can lift the heels, or you can even come up a little bit higher if that's not good for you, okay? Eventually, we want to work our way into where this is a comfortable pose. We could just hang out and watch TV like this all day, yeah? Hold here, 2 more big breaths. So inhale, exhale, use those knees to push the hips open a little bit wider. Big inhale, 1 more time. And we exhale, take it down to seated. So roll back onto the seat. Release the hips and we're gonna come into bound angle pose, bringing the soles of the feet together. So this should feel good on those hips after Malasana. We wanna stretch that out. Gonna bring the heels as close to your body as you can. And you want the bottom part of the feet to stay together, and then taking the thumbs, place them on the top part of your feet, and almost opening the bottom of your big toes like it's a book. Like you're opening a book with your toes. Okay, so go ahead and put those hands right down in there, and feel free to give yourself a little bit of a foot massage right here. Take those thumbs and roll into the bottom of your feet. It'd be so much better if somebody was doing this for us, right? We should all bring our husbands next time. Roll through those feet, really paying some attention to the bottom of the feet that we don't give a lot of love to. And then from here, we're gonna release those hands, wrap the fingers around the toes. Big inhale, lifting the chest, and we forward fold with a nice flat back coming over those legs. To roll on up. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale, we're going to take it to a twist just like we did in the beginning. It's a little bit harder than when we did this in easy seated position. You've got to reach a little bit further. That's great, guys. Taking that left hand to the right knee and twisting the gaze behind. You want to try to not lean forward on this one. I know it's a little bit more of a challenge. I feel like you're up for it though. And inhale, arms back to center. Exhale, reverse the twist onto the other side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, hands come down to the heart. Now we have an option here. We can keep the hands right here, or if you feel like you want a little bit more of a hip opener, take the hands and very gently put some pressure on the thighs to open the hips a little bit more. I say very gently if you have tight hips here. It's a great way to ease and stretch them, but you don't want to overdo it, okay? One thing to keep in mind here too is with our spine, you want to think about the spine staying nice and long. In this position, it's very easy to either want to arch the back forward and be a little top heavy leaning forward here, or another thing that a lot of people do is to round through the back, and we're curving here to try to get like sitting back, what a lot of people would consider more comfortably. Let's not do either one of those. Let's think about lifting up, roll the shoulders down and back. You can use those feet as a nice sturdy grip, or again, if your hands are on the thighs or the knees, you're opening up through the shoulders and pushing down. Just one more breath here. Great job. We're going to exhale, take the legs out straight. We're really working through these hip positions today. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. on up. And we're gonna come back to all fours. We're gonna repeat this entire series. We're gonna take the left foot into our lunge. So coming into all fours, stack those shoulders over the wrists, stack those hips over the knees. And we already did our spirals. We're not gonna repeat those again. We are gonna step the left foot forward. Keep the right knee down on the ground if that feels comfortable. If it's too much, then you can always tuck the right toe and lift that knee up. You're doing a little bit more work through the legs there, but it may take some pressure off of that knee for you, so that's fine. We're gonna hang out here for just a moment. Remember, think about pushing the right toes back. Those right toes reaching away from the front of your body. And you want to push the right hip down towards the ground while at the same time lifting through that left leg so that you're engaging that quad. Active left leg here. You're pulling up through your core so we're not slumping down into the leg. You want to lift the core, lifting everything here. One more breath here. And then we're gonna step that right foot forward. We're coming back to that malasana position. So take your time getting there. You may wanna straighten up first and then step that foot forward. Again, I'm gonna change direction so I'm forward facing with you, not having my side or back to you. Work your way down into malasana. Wherever that is for you, wherever garland poses is for you today, you can have the hands down on the ground. You can have the heels lifted, or you can lift the entire body up. Feet may need to be further apart or closer together. If you can come all the way down, then use those elbows to push away on those thighs to open up the hips a little bit more. Hang here, 2 more breaths.
About the right to choose what we put in our bodies, but you see, it's so easy to do. When people sells it like it's facts, but in fact it isn't true. Don't get caught up.
From here, we're gonna roll it on back to seated position. Come back to your bound angle pose. Feet come together. Doesn't that feel good to open up the hips after that? So we pull the heels in as close to your body as you can. The outside of the feet, the bottom part of the feet are touching. We're gonna open up like a book with our hands, opening up the big toes, the bottom of the foot. Go ahead and go back to that little foot massage we were loving before. Just giving a little extra love, especially to the pads at the bottom of the big toe. If you wear high heels, you probably need it there more. If you're barefoot like me all the time, you need it everywhere. Taking that time for just a little self-appreciation. And then releasing those hands. We're going to wrap the fingers around the toes. Maybe pull the heels in a little bit closer if you can. Sitting up nice and tall. Big inhale. Exhale, forward fold.
Is making money, doing nothing for us, nothing for us, nothing for us. So don't get caught up, letting her loose, tear each other apart. Fears are making money, doing nothing for us, nothing for us, nothing for us.
Slowly start to roll it on up.
Can you tell me what's the cut?
Inhale, arms all the way up to the top. This time we're going to twist to the left first, so the right hand to the left knee, switching sides, sitting up nice and tall. And if you can't reach all the way for that knee, it's okay to have the hand in the front of the leg. If that's too much of a twist for you, if you can, then go ahead and pull yourself back a little bit further. Inhale back to center here. And we exhale, twist to the other side.
Is making money, doing nothing for us, nothing for us, nothing for us. So don't get caught up.
Inhale back to center. Hands come together, lower the hands down to the heart. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing that, and then stay here for just a few moments. You can keep the hands right here, or you can take the hands down to the thighs and maybe open up the hips just a little bit more. Remember, keeping that spine nice and tall. We don't want to lean forward as you push. It's like that's not going to give you as much as the benefit. You want to keep the spine tall, opening up through those hips. When you start to lean forward, you're going to notice that you're changing the stretch in the hips, okay? You're lessening, you're kind of kind of cheating there. So stay up tall and take that stretch there. As you do this, if you do have the hands on the thighs, you want to make sure you're not shrugging the shoulders. You want to roll those shoulders down and back. Sitting up tall, maybe hands are still here. Exhale, open up the eyes, dropping the hands down to the ground. We're gonna keep the feet, the left foot here. Can't talk this morning. We're gonna open up the right leg. So keeping the left foot here, open up that right hip. Ooh, a little stiff after those stretches maybe, that's okay. So what you wanna do here is we're releasing the hip, and now the knee is facing straight up. We're not turned out, and we're not letting that knee turn forward. The knee is straight up. We wanna focus on a nice stretch right through here. So just hold here and let the leg get a little bit more accustomed to the change in position that we just did there. And this may be as far as you need to go. This may be enough of a stretch. I know I'm feeling it already. But if you want to take it a little bit deeper, we're going to walk the hands forward very slowly, very gently. Try to keep that left foot in position. That left foot may want to wiggle around a little bit. What it's trying to do is give that right inner thigh a break on the stretch. Don't let the left foot do the work. Let the left thigh stretch. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you want to take it back up a little bit. Or if you want to go a little bit further, walk those hands over to that right leg. Now you're going to feel some different muscles stretching. You may feel it through the lower back, through the obliques. You may feel it in that left leg now, the glute of the left leg that's bent. Wherever you have a little bit of tightness, there's lots of different places. We may be feeling this right now. And if it's too much for you, please sit back up or come up to a higher seated position. For me, this feels great in that left hip, but that might be too much. Remember to listen to your body and only do what it wants you to do today. Walk those hands back to center, reversing the stretch, and then walk the hands all the way back up. Nice work, you guys. Bringing that right foot back in. We meet the feet in the middle. Holding here to readjust, rebalance, recenter. Feel free to wiggle around if you need to. Remembering the spine should be nice and tall. The crown of the head straight towards the sky. Hips pushing down into the ground. We're not rocking forward. We're not rounding back. We're nice and straight. From here, the left foot's going to open on up. Try to keep the right foot planted. One leg might be tighter than the other. So automatically your knee may tend to start to rotate backwards. That's very normal. We want to focus on bringing that knee so that it's pointing straight up. This is engaging that inner thigh muscle, which is the stretch that we're going for right now. If we let that knee rotate back, we're getting a little bit lazy in that muscle. So take that leg, turn it back up, knee faces up. Let's hang out here for just a moment. Maybe you're already feeling the stretch right here and this is as far as you need to go. That's fine. Sitting up nice and tall still. Goodness, that sun feels good, doesn't it? And then start to forward fold if you want to take it a little bit deeper. Reaching those hands out in front. Feeling that right foot may want to change and move position. Remember, it's trying to help that left leg out. Don't let it do the work. And paying attention to where you're feeling the pulls in your muscles, because this stretch can come from a lot of different places. Your body may want to actually lean to the right on this. Try to keep it center. You're feeling everything from inner thigh to glutes to your core stretch too. And that right foot is really needing to work to stay in place. Hold here, remembering to breathe and release those muscles as you exhale. It's a great way to consciously relieve that tension. You can stay here, you can come back on up, or you can walk the hands over towards that left leg. Now starting to feel maybe a little bit more stretch in the right side of the body. Empty sheets and days in the sun with the cold on your cheeks. And everything we need. Making sure that 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 knee's not turning backwards on this stretch as well. And then start to walk those hands back to the center, very slowly releasing those muscles that are stretching, taking your time, and then walking the hands all the way back up to center. Should feel some nice stretches through the spine on that one, and the muscles on either side of the spine. So when we do those twists like that, bring that left foot back on in. You'd think it'd be easier to get that foot back there, but after those stretches, it's actually a little bit harder to bring the feet back in. But go ahead and pull the heels in close to the body one last time for this pose. Wrapping those fingers around the toes. One more time. Big inhale here. And exhale, forward fold.
And so I walk to thee. The sun on the window of my car, and I say, oh, 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 to the winter on my window.
And slowly start to roll it on up.
And I miss you most.
And we're going to take the legs out straight in front. Take your time getting there. You can use those hands for assistance if those hips feel like they're kind of stuck there. Perfectly normal. Give the legs a little shake, 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 shake. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe see if you can get a little bit deeper than we did at the beginning of class. This is not a competition against anyone or even against yourself. If you're exactly where you started, then that's okay too.
Nights on the streets, and I'm singing to my mother, singing to the sea. See, I've been singing to my father, singing.
Slowly start to roll it on up.
Singing to the things that help us read.
Great job, guys. How we feeling? Good? Okay, we're going to take it to some down dog and some half pigeon flows here. So let's go ahead and grab a quick sip of water, and then we'll stand up on our mats and start there.
The things that help us breathe. The days in the sun. These days
Forget I have a microphone on when I try to drink.
Always the best with you.
Ooh, nice job, guys. You were already more than halfway done with your stretches. Look at that. When you are finished with your water break, we are going to stand at the back of your mat. So you'll want to turn, probably maybe facing the middle, so everyone's facing the same direction. Or, I'm sorry, not everybody's facing the same direction, but we're all leaning towards the middle. We're going to inhale, the arms come all the way up. Soften those knees. Exhale, forward fold. From here, you may want to soften the knees to get down to this forward fold. That's okay if you want to do that. Soften here. If you want to take the stretch a little bit deeper, then straighten those legs, keeping the fingertips either down on the ground or at the bottom of the legs. Either way. Inhale, halfway rise to a nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Walking those hands all the way out. We're going to come into a down dog position. So we're planting the fingers and the palms into the mat, into the ground. And then we step the feet slightly apart. We push those heels down towards the ground. Hold here. The gaze should be between the back legs. The hips are pushing up towards the sky.
But I find it kinda cute how she keeps a small change in a little back pocket. Coffee can.
From here, we're going to shift forward, coming into a high plank. So we lower the seat. We find our back in a nice straight line. We're going to keep the elbows glued to the sides. Lower down for a low plank chaturanga all the way through for cobra. Lifting up here, releasing the tops of the toes. And we exhale, push the hips back, coming into child's pose. Reversing that position on the spine, taking the head down towards the mat. If that's not comfortable for your knees, you may want to double up your mat or double up your towel.
Be caught up in a dream is all well and good. She's got places to be and people.
From here, we're going to walk the hands over to the right, so the legs stay exactly where they are. Slowly walk those hands over to the right. You should feel, or you may feel, a big stretch through that side body, that left side body here. Think about under the armpit, that area stretching.
She said the fantasies are the way to go, cause nobody knows what you think.
Not an easy area to stretch, so this is a great one to do to get these muscles. Walk the hands back to center.
She's still
From here, taking the left hand underneath the right, thread the
But I
needle,
find it kinda
drop on down.
She keeps a small change in a little back pocket. Coffee kind of days, like half strength, skinny flat whites and macchiatos, cappuccinos, and lattes.
Inhale back to center.
Coconut milk. What's that?
From here, walk those hands over to the left.
But these are the little perks that I adore.
Lowering down,
So
taking a nice big
when
stretch.
she wakes up in the sun and everybody
Think about under the right armpit stretching, the lower back,
she puts
the
on
right
a
side
coffee
body.
song.
Exhale, sinking a little bit deeper, and then slowly walk those hands back to center. From here, taking the right arm underneath the left, thread the needle other side, drop the shoulders down. Inhale back to center. Stretching those hands out far one more time. You can stay right here in child's pose. A variation option is to take those hands together and bring those hands on top of the head, relaxing the forehead down
I
into
feel
the
my
mat.
heart for the first time.
Pushing the chest down for a stretch through the back of
'Cause
the
now
arm.
I'm moving on, yeah, I'm moving on. And there's a place that I've dreamed of, where I can free my mind.
Slowly release the hands if you had them above the head.
I hear the
Planting the
sounds
fingers
of
down into
season.
the mat and then tucking the toes. We're going to take it back to down dog.
Sense of
So take your time
time.
getting here. Tuck those toes. Lift the hips on up.
I'm moving far away
Take a moment to find yourself here.
to a sunny place where it's just you and me.
On your next inhale, we're going to lift the right toes.
Feels like we're in a dream.
And we're going to exhale, bringing the right leg forward underneath the body, coming into half pigeon. So taking the right leg under, we come to the top of the mat. Slowly easing down and releasing that back toe.
The way it feels.
Trying to get both hips square to the ground. So we don't want to be turned out. We want to keep those hips down. This is another great position that if you happen to have a towel with you and this is not comfortable for you, you can place a towel up under your glutes, under your seat. It's going to ease you into it a little bit more. Keeping the fingertips at the front of your leg, the front of your mat. Pushing up gently for a nice little micro back bend. Taking your gaze up towards the sky.
To see the sun paint the sky.
Exhale, forward fold. Sleeping half pigeon. If you want to take it, you can stay up here if that's what feels good for you, or you can take it all the way down.
To a sunny place where it's just you and me. Feels like we're in a dream. You know what I
Similar to the child's pose stretch we just did, you have an option here to walk those hands over to the right side. It's going to feel a little awkward. You're going to put a little bit of work into that folded leg, but you're going to feel an additional stretch through that right glute.
I'm moving far away to a
Slowly walk the hands back to the center if you took that option for the turn. Walking the hands up towards that front leg, planting the palms on either side. Activate that back toe, and we're gonna lift the right leg back, coming into down dog. So we slowly take our time to get there, stepping it back, down dog.
a sunny place where it's just you and
Inhale,
me.
shift it forward, high plank.
Feels like we're
Keep those
in
elbows
a
in,
dream.
exhale, lower down, chaturanga. All the way through for cobra. Exhale, push the hips back, child's pose. Hold here for 2 more breaths.
You said to me that you were scared of what's to come.
Shifting the weight forward, taking the hands and planting them into the mat. Tuck the toes, push the hips up,
Letting
down
go
dog.
wasn't such a bad idea when you got it all to find.
Inhale, left toes rise.
I remember watching your heart hit the floor.
Exhale, bring that left leg underneath the body, coming parallel to the top of the mat, maybe coming into half pigeon, dropping the hips. Hips are square to the mat, square to the floor. We're not opening up here. Keep those hands right where they are, or come up to fingertips. And push up and away for a micro back bend. Gaze comes up towards the
But
sky.
I hope you know that I miss it so bad. The nights we spent out on our own.
Exhale, forward fold.
Eastern coastline, looking for the wild times. And our worlds are spinning out of time. And I remember singing the brown-eyed girl, taking the long way home, and we would never fall. And the skies were never high enough to keep it all from blowing
From here,
up.
you have an option to walk those hands over to the left side. Putting some work into that front leg, but getting a deeper stretch in that left glute. And
I'll
then
be heading
reaching.
straight back home to you.
If that's too much, you can always come back to center, okay? Or even come up
I was
more so
headed
you're
for
taller and
the
not
door when you
leaning
turned
down
and
as
grabbed my
forward.
shirt. You said, "Is this how you say thank
Slowly
you
walk
for
those
all
hands
the
back to
things we've
center.
learned?"
And then walk the hands back in front of the
We're
leg.
never meant to be just two lost teens.
Tucking the back toe, we're gonna activate the right toe. Step the left foot back.
I remember watching
Coming
your heart
into
hit
down
the
dog.
floor and
A few breaths here.
tears
Push
on
those
your
heels down
cheeks.
towards the ground. Push the palms
But to
away.
getting here in
Pushing the hips up towards the
second
sky.
chance, you leaving for a distant land, and I wasn't gonna hold
And then
your
slowly start to
hand.
walk the hands back towards the toes.
But I hope you know that
Hanging
I
here, letting
miss
gravity
it
do its
so
work. Let
bad.
the shoulders and the
nights
head
we spent
hang
out
straight down towards
on
the
our
ground.
own on the
Maybe bending through the knees if that's too much through the
coastline.
hamstrings.
We're looking for the wild times, and our worlds are spinning now.
And then soften through the knees and slowly start to roll it on out. Very, very slowly, one vertebrae at a time.
We would never
Keeping the knees soft
fall.
and coming all the way up. Head and neck coming up last. How we feeling, guys? Everyone good? Okay. Bring the feet together. Inhale the arms all the way up to the top. Interlace fingers at the top. And we lean over to the side. Keeping the chest facing forward. Hips and chest are square to the front so we're not twisting to the side. Back to center here. Exhale, other side.
I'll be heading straight back home to you.
Inhale back to center. Exhale, release the hands down. Relax those shoulders. Standing up nice and tall, think about stacking the spine, one vertebrae on top of one another, keeping the crown of the head facing up and energizing from the ground through the base of your toes. Feel the energy come all the way up through the top of your head. Breathe here. One more big exhale, and we are going to take it back down to a seated position on the mat. Take your time getting down there. You're going to want to come so that we are lengthwise on the mat, because we are going to come all the way down to a laying down position eventually. My goodness, time flies when you're having fun. Inhale, the arms come all the way up. Instead of a forward fold, we're actually going to lower down, taking the spine down all the way to a nice laying down position. And from here, we're going to hug the knees into the chest.
So follow the ocean back to your heart, follow your fears back to the stars.
Hugging those knees right in towards the chest, wrapping the arms around the legs, doing a nice big squeeze.
Back to now where we loved it, where we were told.
From here, we're going to take it to a happy baby pose. So you're going to reach the fingers for the bottom of the feet. Wrapping the fingers around the outside. If you can get there, that's great. If not, you can always grab onto the calves. And either way, you want to push the knees down towards the ground. Got this. Another big hip opener here. And once you're here, if it feels okay, slowly rock side to side. Have fun here. Happy babies, always a fun move. Just loosening, rocking through that spine. And then from here, bring the knees back into the center. Shaking the legs at 90 degrees. We're going to drop the left foot down. So the left leg comes straight down to the ground. Right knee is at 90. We take it over to the side. Right arm comes out to the right. Coming back to center, we're going to hug just that right knee up, taking it out to the side just a little bit, hugging that knee with that right arm. Try to keep the left leg down on the mat. Try not to let that left leg lift. You're stretching one more time through that inner thigh on the right leg here. Kind of the same move we did earlier in a seated position. And exhale, both legs come to 90 degrees. Drop the right leg down straight. Left leg comes out to the side, over to the side. Bent leg, bent knee. Left arm comes out to the left.
I'm not sure, going home, love. 'Cause I'm not sure when I'm going home, love. Going home, love.
Inhale back to center. Taking that left knee up towards the left armpit. Hug that knee with the left arm. Pushing that right leg down into the mat. Not letting that right leg lift. Back to your heart, full of your fears, back to the stars. Inhale back. Both legs come to 90 degrees. Hug both knees into the chest. This time we straighten the left leg down, straighten the right leg up. Great move that if you have a yoga strap with you to do at home, you can wrap that strap around the foot and then pull the leg up a little bit more. If we don't have straps here, which I don't think any of us do, you can place the hands anywhere on the back of the leg that feels good and pull that leg down. Again, try to make sure that that left leg is not lifting off the ground. Bringing both legs back to 90. Here we go. Right leg comes down, left leg comes up straight. Pushing the right leg into the ground, wherever your hands are comfortable on the back of that leg, pulling it in. Pull that leg towards the head. And then slowly start to release the left leg all the way down to the ground. Letting the body relax into the mat. You have made it to final Shavasana. So find your way into corpse pose. We're going to relax here. Let the legs fall out to the side. Let the hands come down to the sides, palms facing up. If it's not comfortable for you to be laying down on the ground here, feel free to take Shavasana in a seated position. You can come into easy seated position. Here, let's close our eyes. Clear your mind. Slow your breath. Focus the energy inwards. Taking these last few moments of class for some meditation and peacefulness. Lavender essential oils. If If you prefer none, please place one hand over your heart so I know to pass over you. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and toes, coming back to a wakeful state. Taking a few breaths here as we finish up our practice. Maybe taking a moment to set some intentions for the rest of your day or the rest of your weekend. And taking a moment to appreciate your body as we're taking you through the practice that we just did. When you feel ready, roll on over to your right side. Breathing in big deep breaths, full of energy, full of sunlight and salt air. And then from here, once you feel ready, come on up to meet me in a comfortably seated position. Take your time getting here. Comfortably meaning we are resting, no more work. We're going to inhale, the arms come all the way up. And then exhale, the hands come down to heart center. Look at those butterflies flying all around us. Taking the thumb to the chest. Making that mind-body connection. Closing your eyes as we wind down. Big inhale. Big exhale. Remembering to find openness and playfulness throughout the stress that's going on in the world, all around the world, around you. Remembering that we can always go inwards and take that time and take care of ourselves. Thank you guys so much for coming this morning to our new location. I'm so thrilled to be here, and I'm thrilled to have you guys here. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Namaste. Ooh, and it got warm. It got warm in here today.